She tightened the silver rope and walked a monster past the pear stalls. If her grip slipped, the market would die. That was the rule her mother left her: never loosen silver where people laugh. Children chased soap bubbles between tents. Bells clinked. Spice smoke curled. The monster's claws scraped the stones, slow and careful, as if each step hurt. It was taller than two men, wrapped in a ragged cloak to hide the ash-dark fur and the horn that had been filed flat. Three eyes, one blind, watched the children. It shivered. "I hate this," it rasped. "I hate frightening Joy." Lyra didn't answer. Her jaw ached from holding her fear in place. The rope hissed against her palm like a live thing. The city paid good coin for moving old curses across town, and she needed every coin for her little brother's medicine. She just had to cross the bright market, the safest place in car, the place where laughter never stopped. "Keep moving," she said. A boy waved at the monster. "Nice costume." People laughed. Someone tossed a wilted flower that stuck to the monster's wet muzzle. He flinched like he'd been burned. "You're doing fine," Lyra lied. The monster leaned close. Its breath smelled like rain on old iron. "Your mother taught you the rope. She said you'd bring me here one day." "The day of broken bells?" Lyra's heart stuttered. "Don't say her." "Then listen," it said soft. "This laughter is wrong, wrong." Lyra scanned the crowd. Vendors smiled too wide. Eyes didn't blink at the right time. The same joke seemed to ripple and repeat as if someone pulled strings. But this was the bright market. Guards at every gate. Wardens in gold masks. Songs in the air like armor. Safe. A tomato hit the monster's shoulder. Splatter. A woman laughed and threw another. Others joined, clapping and cheering like it was a game. The monster folded in on itself, huge shoulders hunched, horn scraping its own chest. Its blind eye began to weep a silvery tear. "I don't want to scare the Joy," it whispered. "It hurts me." "It's just people," Lyra said, but the words felt thin. She remembered the forbidden lines from her mother's old book. Never bring silver into a laughing place. Never untie a bound thing in a crowd. Never, ever trust a grin that shows all the teeth. A ripple moved through the market like wind in wheat. The children's giggles rose at once, shrill, same pitch. Lyra felt the hair on her neck lift. "You hear that?" She said. "Yes," the monster said. "The smilers are hungry." "The what?" "They live under markets. They wear faces. Joy is their bait." The monster's voice broke. "They took my first pack. They wore our cubs like masks and laughed while we starved." Lyra's mouth went dry. "You want to hurt them?" "I want to stop them," it said. "But you bound me." Another wave of play laughter rolled through. Bubbles burst in slow motion. Pears gleamed like glass. Lyra caught a stall owner's eye and saw it at last. The eyes were painted, perfect circles of light. No depth. A child skipped to her, tugged her sleeve. "Can I pet your puppy?" The child's smile didn't touch the eyes. Fingers too long. Nails like shell. Lyra's stomach flipped. "Back!" she snapped. The child hissed a sugar-sweet note. All around, faces turned. The crowd's grin stretched wider, then wider still, skin straining. Voices blended into one bright chord. The monster whimpered. "Please, let me stop them." Lyra's rules hammered in her head. Never untie a bound thing in a crowd. Never drop the rope where joy lives. But the joy here was a hook. And those weren't children. She made a choice. Lyra turned and dragged the monster into a spice alley, under torn banners. The false crowd followed with a skipping, puppeted rhythm. She planted her feet, set the rope across her knee, and whispered the undoing knot her mother had made her practice at night. Silver loosened. The rope fell. Pain shot up her arm as if the rope bit back. Her mother's voice in memory. "Don't, not here, never. I'll take the blame," Lyra said. "Go!" The monster exploded out of its crouch, cloak shredding. It hit the first child and split it like a paper lantern, light and ash bursting out. The second lunged with two long arms. The monster tore its smile off and it melted into thin gray worms. Screams rose, but they were wrong too, bright and chimed. Like bells played by tiny knives, Lyra grabbed a fallen stall pole and swung. A vendor crumpled with a clatter, and 7 small pale shapes wriggled from the clothes, each wearing a painted grin. She stabbed. They popped like grapes, hissing. The real people, were there any real people? Scattered or froze, mouths pulled by invisible threads. Lyra pushed through, searching for any child who blinked like a human. She saw a girl crying real tears behind a spice cart, eyes red, cheeks dirty. A true face. Come here. Lyra yelled. A smiler leaped. The monster slammed it into the stone. Down, it snarled, and the girl crawled to Lyra, shaking. Where are the others? Lyra asked. Below, the girl sobbed. They keep them below. They say we laugh or we vanish. The ground trembled. A crack split the stones between stalls. Cold air breathed up. From the darkness came a sound like a choir learning to speak with one throat. The monster backed to Lyra's side. The nest woke. How do we close it? Lyra said, her hands shook. The silver rope lay at her feet like shed skin. She thought of her brother's cough, of her mother's warnings, of duty and debt and rules that made sense until they didn't. Bells, the monster said. Real bells. Not the Smiler's glass ones. Lyra listened. The city's great bell tower was silent, broken, day of broken bells, the monster had said. The phrase slipped through her mind like a key in a lock. Did you know this would happen? She asked. The monster's 3 eyes met hers. In them she saw snow and ash and a memory of a woman with oil-stained hands tying a knot. Her mother, she believed you were the key, it said. Not the rope. The crack widened. A shape rose tall, boneless, draped in smiles collected like trophies. The air grew sweet as rotted fruit. The stolen faces on its skin wept, laughed, begged. It looked at Lyra with 100 painted eyes and spoke in 100 bright voices. Stay and smile for us, little key. The monster stepped forward. Behind me. Lyra lifted the pole, heart slamming. Not this time, she said. I'm done being led by rules I don't understand. She reached for the silver rope. It lifted to her hand on its own like it had been waiting. The strands shimmered, splitting into threads that hummed. Notes, not knives. Bells. Her skin prickled. Her mother's knot, but different. Not a binding. A calling, the Smiler mass hissed. The children below screamed. The tower on the hill stayed dead. Lyra swallowed, tasted spice and fear. If I'm the key, she whispered, tell me what door. The monster bared its teeth, not in a smile but in fierce trust. The one only you can hear. The ground shook again. The sweetness turned to acid. And from the crack, something old whispered her name. Lyra. She breathed in once, steady, and lifted the singing rope. Everything went dark, then bright. Want the next beat of this fight and the truth about Lyra's mother? Hit follow so you don't miss part 2.